Okay, welcome everybody. Monday the 18th of September to the Town Council's Energy and Sustainability Working Party. Any decisions have to be, I was trying to look for the word, remind Colin word.
We make recommendations.
Recommendations,
working party.
Yeah.
Any decisions will be ratified at the full council.
Yeah, thank you. It's gone over my head there. So as item 1, apologies for absence, please.
We have apologies from Councillor Liz Smith, and we also have apologies from Sarah Marsh, the projects manager, and Gary Wilson, the operations manager.
Okay, thank you very much.
On holiday, not together.
Okay, declarations of interest and requests for dispensations from anybody. I can't see you, Councillor Luccarini, so I have no idea whether you put hands up or anything. Thank you. Anything? Nothing? No?
I'm being received.
Lovely, thank you, Colin. Right, minutes of the previous meeting held on the 13th of June. Would you like to? Lovely, thank you, Colin. Hopefully all members have read this. So can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Day-Smith, and seconded by Councillor Luccarini. All those in favour, please show. Thank you very much. We'll just quickly go through the items. I know there's a couple of items where going to talk about in item number 5, one of which later on we're hopefully we'll get an update from Councillor Miller-Jones if she is able to arrive on page 2 there. Moving on. Have you investigated D there, Colin, at all?
Yes. As far as I can find out, that land is now allocated to Abbeycroft. Having talked to them, they don't have any immediate plans for it, etc. So I've said, we'll bear that area in mind, but obviously they've kind of got first dibs on it. So we have to be aware that if we do something with that area, then they might have some plans later on. So I think we just need to work with them on that.
And we're talking about the one that's behind Lidl's.
I think it's a bit further up than that, isn't it?
No, that's where it was. That's where the original Haverhill Nature Reserve was. All right,
I might have been talking about the wrong patch of.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I wonder if you're talking about the other bit that's further near the leisure centre.
Yeah, that's it's fenced off, but it's all kind of left to go wild.
Yeah. Now this was something that they did about. I'm going to say 15 years, but it's probably longer than that. They started doing a nature reserve behind what is now Lidl's. And then it all started off well, and then I think it just got abandoned.
Okay. We'll be catching up with Andrew Smith at Havebury fairly soon, so I'll have a word with him.
Lovely, thank you. And I guess on item F, that's a
part of a number of things that we're chasing. It's a bit awkward because we're chasing Damien Parker, but I don't know whether it's actually still within his purview at West Suffolk. But at least he could tell us who is in charge if it isn't him anymore.
Yeah, it might be Simon Collin, who looks after parks and open spaces, I believe.
Yeah, but he looked after parks and open spaces when Damien was his boss. So I don't know quite what they've done there. Councillor Miller-Jones is just joining us.
Lovely, thank you. Hi, Lars.
Hi, sorry. I'm very sorry for being late. Hi, everyone.
Okay, we're just going through the minutes at the moment. Okay, we'll go back to item ES 23033B then, as it's got your name on it, Councillor Miller-Jones. Regarding, have you managed to speak to Damien about the sycamore trees on Herringhausen. So you're muted.
Yeah, I did actually contact Damien to try and arrange a meeting with him, because there were several things that I need to discuss with him around sort of environment stuff. He hasn't actually, he said he would come back to me with dates, but he hasn't as yet. And I'd actually, that was a while ago, so I will chase him on it. I'd forgotten to do that. So thank you for reminding me. I will chase him this evening.
Lovely, thank you for that. Right, what else were we going down? I think there's one other, which was Gary's. Was that signed?
Yeah, the framework documents have been signed, and we're awaiting Cambridge to return the documents to us, the confirmation.
Lovely, thank you very much. Right, thank you for that.
Councillor Smith has his hand up.
Yeah, sorry, is that slightly out of focus from my side? Did you want to close that? I don't know, Councillor Smith, there you go. I can see you now, that's better.
Just that and in the minutes, election of deputy, it's got that Councillor Carini was elected as chair of the energy. That should be, that's what on my copy in the minutes.
Yeah.
It did say that when I sent it out, but
right.
The chair's already pointed that out, and the
Okay.
copy you've just approved had the
Yeah,
deputy wording.
Okay, thanks.
Lovely, thank you for that. Right, we've got a couple of items at item 5. What I'd like to do is we've got some members of the public here. I'd like to bring them in now rather than and then obviously we've got things like Be Friendly Haverhill and things like that later on, but I think it's worthwhile bringing them in now to save them hanging around if there's things that they don't want to be around for in the future. Now, I don't know Colin, do we know who wants to go first?
What I thought might be interesting for Nan and Angelica, who are here to hear about the updates and discuss school involvement in bee-friendly projects, they might be interested in the work that Claire does, and probably her team at Suffolk County Council, which is obviously they cover a much broader range of items. And I attended an online briefing that Claire led on using thermal cameras for helping people spot any drafts, etc., in their properties. As members will recall, we have a thermal camera for that purpose, and we were interested to see how other parish councils have set up small groups of volunteers. So that was a really useful session, but I won't steal all of Claire's thunder. I'll pass over to her if that's okay, Chair.
Yeah, please. Claire, welcome.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'd leave you to start if you wouldn't mind.
Lovely. Thank you ever so much. And thanks ever so much for having me here tonight. This is really great. And thank you for having it on Zoom to save the travel for everyone and cut down on carbon. So that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I work for the Suffolk Climate Change Partnership. And I don't know whether anybody's ever come across that in daily work or your work as councillors. But if it's okay, I'll just give a brief overview. I started as community support officer in October last year, so just under a year now. And the Suffolk Climate Change Partnership almost started before anyone else was thinking of climate emergency plans. So we're thinking back until about 2007, and the conception of it, and then 2009 when it became, really well run. And thinking that Suffolk Climate Change has been Greener County initiatives. Following that, Suffolk Climate Change Partnership was well ahead of the game. And what it is a combination of all of the local authorities, including Suffolk County Council, contributing and participating to a community-wide relevant actions tackling climate change. So it's pro-environment and working towards climate mitigation and climate adaptation, as well as keeping to the net zero by 2030 aspiration. So there's a lot in it. We have a board, and then a manager, support officer, a comms person, both of which are apprenticeships, and then myself. And I am the community face of the entire sort of workings of the Suffolk Climate Change Partnership. So what I've been doing since I started was, one, getting myself known and trusted by people and communities, and also finding out who is working within the climate change arena within Suffolk. So as it stands, I've worked with 172 different community groups, which could be parish and town councils, but not necessarily. And that might be very light touch to something that we're helping with community energy, to commence that within a community. So the things that we've initiated since then, thinking that the person who was in my role before me was John Taylor. You might recognise the name, and he now is part of the Great Southeastern Net Zero Hub. And he left the job pre-COVID, and there wasn't anyone in that role over the COVID years. So we're in essence using what he started, and then regrouping within a sort of a 3-year gap. So I've started a community networking database, and that is in essence trying to get everybody together, connect, network, but also share resources, thinking about what needs and gaps are within the communities, and listening to people who are out there to fathom what is missing and where we can help maybe get funding bids, grants, or even from our point of view, put on training, webinars, etc. So that's 172 on the database, and they let us know, if you're part of it, you might already know what they're doing now and what they would like to do in the future. And therefore I can help with the groups that the initiatives and projects that they've already set up, but also help work towards the ones that they're looking ahead to. That includes a bi-monthly newsletter, and that is every other month rather than twice a month. This September one went out, and again, if you're on our community database, you will have received our newsletter, but I can always give you the link for that so that you can join. And it's very informative, lots of bite-sized pieces about what's happening in Suffolk, so that we don't all work in this inevitable word silos, but actually work as a team together in Suffolk. We're very different people from east to west, north to south, slap bang in the middle, but we've all got things that we have got knowledge, skills we can share, and why duplicate and reinvent the wheel. So that again is part of that. We also have a Facebook page where people will learn about new initiatives, both nationally and also county-wide. The thermal imaging cameras that Colin alluded to earlier, which I know you've got one, and you did put in an expression of interest for the ones that we loan out, are cameras that attach to smartphones. And they're very, very tiny. I've got one here that you'll be able to see. This is our older model. Literally just go into the charging point of a smartphone, and you can then assess and survey houses for heat loss. Which not only you think about all the co-benefits, we're getting healthier people, we're getting warmer homes, lower bills, but as importantly, if not more importantly, that carbon reduction. And I think we've got 50 million homes to retrofit to make them less leaky and more energy efficient. So that's not just in Suffolk, thank goodness, but around and about the Isles. So we kicked that off last year with a project, a pilot project, very successful. We had 62 community groups using the cameras, over 152 equivalent weeks of surveying. So that went very far and wide. Funnily enough, though, and you'll be very interested in this, and I could do with your help at any point, the west was very light. We didn't get many people from the west of Suffolk sign up. The furthest we went was probably near Bury, Glemsford, and then from there on, very little interest or activity seen. And that seems to be the case for an awful lot of initiatives that we're trying to get out there. So if you can come up with any assistance to how we become more known in the West, and all our resources could be used and people can interact with us, that would be fantastic. So we're looking now at the expression of interest. As you say, you put one into us, but I'm aware that you do have a camera. I'm not sure what sort, whether it's handheld or smartphone. But
It's
please send me
handheld.
off. Go on, Colin.
It's handheld.
It's a handheld one.
Flair EX5. Your colleague Jess did check in with me to whether or not we wanted to be on the loan list. And I said, no, we don't want to be on the loan list. We were just interested in hearing how other people are doing
Not
things.
a problem. And you can have access to our resources as well. We're you know, we want to get them out there. So and as many used as possible. So do please look at our links that we could send you to see what resources there are. So that's that one. And of course, we could give you any support you need about how to use yours and promote from what Colin saw from the webinar, plus more. So just let me know. The other thing you might be interested in coming up in November are 2 large community networking events that we're running face to face. We've got one in the West in Bury in the Unitarian Meeting House, and then one over in the East in Saxmundham. And this is really for representatives of groups, parish councils, to come and get to know one another, to meet, network, connect, share resources, do your showcasing. We've got some stalls. We've got a panel which we're yet to organise, which will showcase what projects certain groups are doing. We've got a keynote speaker, which is Andy Oswald, which I see from your minutes, you know, anyway, and he's talking about his solar panel project in the West, and also selling that on through Urban Chain, which might be of interest to you again. And we've also got Groundwork East coming to talk to us about some of their initiatives that can help communities. So before I close up on this, I will send you the link in the chat. You can come to either of the networking sessions. As a representative, we want to make it as broad as possible to as many different groups as possible. And we've got tickets out through Eventbrite. So we would ask for maybe 1 or if necessary 2 people to attend. We've got 100 places, and as I say, that's Suffolk wide. So that's there for you should you wish to attend. And loads of grants, loads of funding, messaging going out, anything that you need particularly to your area. And if I don't know, I can help. So I'll leave it there as that essence of what the Suffolk Climate Change Partnership and who I am is. But if you've got any questions you'd like to ask me now or in email later, feel free.
Claire, thank you very much indeed for that. Very useful to know. Yeah, I mean, Andy Oswald, I know. My own business has got West Suffolk solar panels on the roof, so that's proved really beneficial for us. In terms of the cameras, yes, yours are rather a bit smaller than the ones that we've got, or the one we got.
We've also got a new generation one as well, which the ones we found were either Android or iOS.
Yeah.
Now these ones can fit onto any phone, and it shouldn't be a problem. So, I mean, if you wanted to trial and we've got spare capacity, that's fine. Lovely.
Thank you for that. And I think it's interesting your comment about the west of the county being signed up. Like, I think you find that with every project that happens. Very little, you know, all kinds of different things from the police to whatever it might be. Very low take up. We don't know the reasons for it. We've looked into it.
When I was doing COVID engagement, say in Newmarket and thereabouts, people felt that they were more Cambridge orientated. They found it easier to access goods and services through that way than coming down into Suffolk.
Yeah, very much so. Like Newmarket, you know, we're only half a mile from the Essex and Cambridge borders. I think you did right. If it's something that perhaps comes out of Ipswich, it's often the case that people will look west rather than east. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Any questions from anyone, please? Councillor Smith?
I just think like you said, John, that the not much take up from the west. So what can we do more? Obviously, we need to, those that are West Suffolk District Councillors as well, you know, need to sort of like do more. We do have a environment working party on there as well, so which I know has been reconvened since the new administration has taken place. So any have you got any pointers as what they could do, a message I could pass on?
From myself, just get in touch. You know, it doesn't matter how small or how big the question is, or the progress, or the willingness to want to take part in anything that is pro-environmental or towards tackling climate change and net zero. If I don't know the answer, Councillor Smith, I will certainly look into finding someone who does. My title has renewable energy in the brackets, so Community Support Officer of Renewable Energy, but we've got to start somewhere. You know, if people aren't ready to think about renewable energy, then actually where is their starting point? And that's what's really interesting about learning people's values through the cameras, for instance. Is it warmth? Is it cost? Is it carbon reduction? Well, actually, it doesn't matter in some sense, but that's where you head your conversation. Just to let you know that in Newmarket, we are giving a camera to the mosque and to the racing centre so that they can go out to their own communities. And maybe that's another way to do it, is look at it as population and community base, and then work out who's over there and how we can engage in a fuller and more meaningful manner.
Yeah.
If you'd like me to come to the meeting that you spoke about, and again introduce myself to a wider group of West Suffolk, by all means, you've got my email now through Colin, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm not in it myself. I think Laura is, but it's a very small group, so
yeah.
I'm not really sure the way they operate, but she'd be able to tell you more than that. Yeah,
okay.
She's got a thumbs up. I don't think she wants to be on camera at the moment, but yeah.
We can always have that conversation another time.
Thank you.
Did you want to say anything, Laura? I know you don't want to be on camera. Any?
Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm trying to get
No, I realise that.
The timing, because Mondays
Yeah.
are awful for me. Yeah, no, that I was listening to everything you said. I may have missed a few words here and there, but it all sounds brilliant. And if you could put that link to your newsletter in the chat, and sort of contact details and stuff, that would be great, because I think I'm going to have loads to contact you about.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's brilliant, and I'm really glad to meet you, and thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Okay. Nan or Angelica, have you got anything there that Claire said that's of interest to you?
Hi, it's Nan.
Hello.
It all sounds really interesting, actually. I was going to contact Claire and just ask for a little bit more information to look at and maybe follow up on some bits. So yes, thank you for that.
Not at all. I can give you the link to the Greenest County website, and
cool.
it has got some more information on ourselves there and the projects that we've started.
Cheers, thank you.
Lovely, thanks, Nan. Angelica, anything from you at all?
Thank you. No, it's all very interesting. I'm just trying to glean as much as I can tonight. So it's lovely to meet you, Claire. Thank you.
Likewise.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Claire, for that. Let's move on to Nan and Angelica anyway. I'm not 100% certain. Are you here to say anything, or are you here to just listen?
Well, sorry, I was going to say I was just wanted to introduce Angelica and give you all a brief update on where we are at Castle Manor.
Right.
But it's just very brief, and listening to what else has been going on, because I missed the meeting in June.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Nan, did you want to go ahead now? And again,
Sure.
If you know, didn't want to have to sit through some of the rest of the meeting, that's up to you.
Sorry. Well, I had started this in the previous school year, so the second quarter of this year. But Debs Brown, that I was working with, obviously left. So then I said, well, there wasn't much point in starting in until this quarter. And Angelica has kindly offered to be the new contact, and obviously they're just settling into the term. So I just thought it'd be useful for Angelica to hear what else is going on, and then hopefully we will meet up once she's settled and sorted with her eco group, and then maybe decide next steps. So it was really to say that. Angelica, do you want to?
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly. So I've just taken over this eco club from Debs, and just getting to know the students that are signing up. We'll obviously have our initiatives for the school for Castle Manor itself, but it would be lovely to link those things in with the community on a wider scale. Definitely interested in the bees. So yes, anything that you have to recommend, would love to hear about it. Thank you.
Can I just ask, and obviously I know you're referring to Castle Manor, where does Sam Ward sit in this?
So I don't have any personal contacts with Samuel Ward. It's my second year at Castle Manor. So I guess I could ask about them for you, but I don't have any personal contacts with Samuel Ward.
No, I was only thinking because of the obviously you're all part of the partnership, and I didn't know whether there was any coordination, or maybe there's nothing happening at all at Sam Ward. I don't know.
So just to add to that, how it started with Castle Manor was because Debs actually reached out to the council, I think, and asked for some ideas. Yep. And then this kind of came along and I got involved. So I think it started from the school, and that's why it hasn't gone any further. Okay. It's certainly a possibility if we sort of develop a plan and we get some actions together, we could possibly reach out to Samuel Ward and see if they're interested. But I think we'll do a test case here first and see how we go on.
Okay, no problem. Lovely, thank you for that. Right, I'm going to go back to the agenda. We sort of discussed while Laura was just arriving, inability to actually get a meeting arranged with Damien. So I guess that's probably 5B, unless Laura's got anything else to add to the bus station bee pollinator project. At all, Laura, have you got anything on that or not?
That was the action point.
Yeah, I know. I just wonder if there's anything else. Well, remember.
I have nothing else to add at this point.
That's
no.
fine. Lovely. Thank you. Right. So let's. There's no other members of the public here, so we'll skip number 6. But we'll go on to number 7 about the bee-friendly Haverhill. And I don't know who's giving this update at all. Is that you, Colin?
That's me. Yep.
Yeah.
So as you know, it's a matter of getting the permissions, etc. So just running through the bee-friendly criteria, the planting up roundabouts, etc. We reached out to the Suffolk Highways team, and I've got a meeting arranged with a Teams meeting arranged on Wednesday with Andrew Murray-Wood, who I think is the lead ecological person at Suffolk Highways. And they're really up for this sort of work. So that'll be interesting. Councillor Mason and I think Councillor Sauer and Councillor Roach, county councillors, will all be on the call, or at least one or two of them will be. They've all been invited. So we'll find out what's possible as far as planting up roadside to create sort of pollinator friendly flowers as a start. The bee friendly school, obviously that's kind of where Castle Manor comes in, encouraging wildlife spaces, educational bee themed activities and workshops. The bee friendly station, obviously we have a difficulty with platforms, but they're fine for us to do the bus station, and that's where Councillor Miller-Jones' discussion with Damien Parker is key, because the cutting down the sycamores is to clear some space and create some bug hotels and some edging for Haverhill in Bloom to plant up some bee and pollinator friendly planting. I mean, Damien had given us a list of the sorts of things we should be planting. We're coming to a time of year where that sort of work could be done. So we're quite keen to try and chase that one as much as possible. The hosting a bee themed event, that was we did that for the Green Market back in April. We had a bee themed activity. There was a kind of informative play aimed at youngsters, but basically explained to young people about bees. I seem to remember there was a 6-foot-high bee on the market square that was busy explaining pollination, etc. So we're working to try and tick off the list as best we can. It's just obviously it doesn't all belong to us. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that update, Colin. Any questions at all from anybody?
Claire's put a note in the chat about Paul Martin in Great Beelings. It's at Woodbridge Way is Great Beelings, is it?
It is. It's just outside, and he's trying to get a bee corridor from that sort of area in Woodbridge through to Rendlesham, and he's creating out of reusing plastic 2-litre bottles little bee cafes, he's calling them, which is a movable, although you leave it in one place, planter. I'm not quite sure how he does it, but again, you know, I'm very good on linking you with different people. So anything in the county that you need on something, I'll probably have got a link. If you wanted to, I'm sure he wouldn't mind being contacted.
Yeah, well, craft projects always goes down really well.
Yeah, very much so.
Thank you.
Lovely, thanks for that, Claire.
Could I just throw in a quick comment? Sorry, John.
Yeah, sorry, Nan, sorry.
If when you get to the stage of sorting the bee or the bug hotels, I'd be really interested in being involved in those discussions, because one of the things that's come out and all of the stuff I've been involved in is that a lot of the commercial or ones you buy are actually not brilliantly suitable. And I've got quite a lot of information on what the best kind of sizes and gaps and all the rest are. So it would be quite nice to be involved and make sure if we're putting things up, they are actually the best we can put up, if you know what I mean. So if you want to give me a shout when you're at that stage, and also the plants, if you want any feedback on plants and things, although obviously Damien will know that as well, but things that have worked really well in my garden, etc., then do give me a shout.
Yeah, great. I'll get more knowledge, the better, I think, Nan.
Thank you.
Did you see Councillor Dave Smith? Yeah.
Yeah, just going to say that next week we've got the latest of the Haverhill's drop-ins on the community Clements estate. I wonder if it might be an idea to see if we can sort out with them some places which will be parts of their land which will be acceptable for leaving for perhaps wildflowers to encourage bees. So yeah, if anybody's got any ideas or aware of what places in particular, you know, we could put that as a proposal to them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Are you going on that, Dave?
Yeah, it's between 1 and 5. I think I'm getting there for an hour and a half between meetings.
You know what day it is?
27th.
Oh, okay, it's not in my diary. Okay. Yeah,
I think they're doing one over the Chalkston as well. This
yeah,
one
normally
specifically for Clements.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why I was going to ask you. The next thing was, yeah, I haven't heard anything back from Haverhill on that. Okay, lovely, thank you. I'll move on to item A, because I know I've got to go back to 5A rather. Councillor Mason's obviously not here. Have we any update at all or on the grants and projects at all, Colin?
Well, most of the biodiversity stuff was covered in the updates.
Yeah.
In any case, I suppose we can add in that down at the zone, the soft play centre in Haverhill, they've been encouraging young people to do some planting, etc. And also the staff have been busy. Actually, they've been growing some fruit and veg, some of which has then ended up in the cafe. But also protecting some orchids that were there as well. So there's a kind of, we've been doing a bit of work to try and keep some areas there as good for wildlife and wildflowers around the outside. There's parts of the actual site which we don't have any use for. So we're trying to boost the amount of diversity of wildflowers, etc. that's there.
Lovely, thank you for that, Connie, again. Right, let's move quickly back to 5 Alpha then. You said Gary's provided a written update on the energy performance side of things.
Yep, so let's just go to the right page. So yes, well, yeah, the update is that we've signed up for the energy performance network. So effectively, that's the one where we're hoping to get the funding for putting solar panels on the roof of the zone. And also looking for a whole new heat and vent system in the Victorian Arts Centre.
Yeah.
So that kind of wheel has started rolling.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, then switching back to, and apologise, switching back and forwards, sustainable markets. The last one was in whatever date it was.
So that was in April.
The one with due last week or whatever was cancelled, wasn't it? And
well, it's been postponed. Basically we had it may just have been the particular weekend in terms of availability of stalls, the various sort of people who do kind of sustainable markets and interesting activities. We only had 4 stalls booked, and 2 of those were ones that we were running anyway. So it really wasn't going to be particularly it wasn't really worth running. It was better to postpone it and try and find a date later in October when we can have a few more of the people actually available.
Yeah, I think it's been a case, well, we all know this generally with markets. It's a bit of a catch-22, unfortunately. Lack of football means lack of market traders, and lack of market traders means lack of footfall. And I think that's the case everywhere. Okay. Right. Item number 10, items for the next meeting. Anything from anybody?
Yeah, I do have a little bit more from Gary over and above
okay.
the framework documents. The energy contracts have been switched. So British Gas to provide gas, Urban Chain for all the electricity, and that will come from West Suffolk Solar Farm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're expecting the switch to happen this month. And Corona Energy, who provide the zone electricity, have confirmed they're aware of the switch. U Energy put in an objection because they've said that we hadn't paid for the for August's electricity. Well, they didn't take the direct debit out until the 10th of September, so they put the objection in before the direct debit was due to be paid anyway. So we've now that will all be sorted now, so we'll shift over to Urban Chain and be getting our electricity from West Suffolk Solar Farm.
Right, Councillor Miller-Jones, Laura.
Hi, yeah. Well, first of all, that's great, Colin. Nice one. I was just wondering, I've just been having some thoughts. Is there still a lot of the Chalkston open space that we haven't sort of planned anything for? Is there a lot of it kind of going spare?
Yeah, so that's the whole point, that we don't kind of map the entire thing out. We give the community a chance. I mean, the main thing we have to do really is work on the gate so the community can get in.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was asking was because I've been thinking a lot about kind of, things for kind of, people to do in the town, like teenagers and whatever, children. Cal, be quiet, please. And also kind of eco stuff. And I had the idea of possibly, if there's a little bit of space spare, making some kind of eco maze. Because everyone loves mazes. Loads of towns have mazes and they're really, really successful. I don't know. I don't mean obviously a great massive thing. I know that would be really expensive and I'm not sure what we'd make it from. Obviously, like if it was kind of like hedges of bee-friendly flowers, that would be really good environmentally, but that might be very expensive. There are all kinds of things you could make it from, but I was thinking perhaps it could have kind of like little facts about kind of the environment and kind of eco-friendly stuff like hidden within the maze or something. Just an idea if we have enough space to do something like that. I just thought I'd suggest it.
Definitely enough space, yes.
Yeah. Well,
Claire is putting stuff in the chat. She just put in Willow Maze, living maze. I've seen those before.
Yeah, I feel like there are lots of different options to make it eco-friendly. I have no idea about costs, but I didn't think there was any point in doing a lot of research before asking if it was something anyone thought was a good idea. I don't know what people think.
Yeah, let's put it on the list, as it were. Did I see your hand, Councillor Smith? Yeah.
I've just wondered, there's something that Claire put in there earlier about solar together. I just wondered what that was. Is it where you group together as a collective to get cheaper solar energy, or?
Yeah,
Yes,
more or less. It's a bulk buy scheme. We've got some well-known suppliers that we put to tender, and they get X amount of people interested and then tender or price accordingly. It's a very good system, but I would always recommend to people, if you're getting a quote from us at Solar Together, please get another quote as well, because sometimes, because of the way that the products come through or are available or procured, it can be cheaper elsewhere. So I wouldn't say it's the only one on the market, but we've used the companies before and recommend them, have had good reviews, but always get another quote.
Yeah. It sounds like we're looking at West Suffolk own Topham Farm anyway, so that's good because that'll put money back into the community.
Yeah. And is that both residential and commercial, or just residential?
I think it's mainly residential. You can get your solar panel off of West Suffolk businesses anyway.
Yeah.
So it will run quite nicely in parallel.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Thank you for that. And I appreciate all
I can recommend Solar Together, by the way. They've just put the solar panels on my house, and the company from Ipswich that did it, really excellent job. Very, very impressed.
Oh, it was you, was it, Colin? Okay. That's good recommendation, though. I mean, a company my sister had done, but it's not in Suffolk, it's in Buckinghamshire, but they were really pleased with their one as well. I know there are some not so good ones out there. Great. So apart from what we've already listed, any other items for the next meeting at all? I think there's enough on there probably anyway. Okay, that's great. And date of next meeting is Tuesday the 12th of December. Again, online. Everybody's more than welcome, of course. Okay. And I close the meeting at 19:47.
Sorry, John, did you say Tuesday the 12th?
12th, yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh, I assume it's Tuesday. I haven't checked the date. I'm just going from
Yeah,